everybody, welcome to another episode of Cammy's View. The last one I was everywhere. This time we're gonna be more calm because the topic is even one that we need to be serious about. Not that geoengineering is not a serious topic, but this one is about coronavirus, as you might have seen. But do not go away yet. Don't worry, I'm not here to spread fear or panic. I just wanna use this medium to just think through what we have done and what we need to do, and just really analyze where we are in this coronavirus period. And so if you want to go on that journey with me, then let's do it. Okay, so today I just want to talk about how Nigeria has handled coronavirus, which is probably what you saw in the description or the title, which is yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna talk about different things that Nigeria has done and like how they've handled it, and that's pretty much what this video is about. So the first thing that I want to talk about is testing, and so yeah, like getting tested in Nigeria, like how does that work? Because I mean, first of all, okay, if I'm looking here, it's because my laptop is over here and I have notes, so do not be afraid or concerned, stuff like that. Anyway, so like when I was talking about getting tested, like first of all, I would just like to say that the testing system all over the world is pressurized because this is a new virus, and so we haven't seen this before, and so we're definitely not prepared with enough test kits, and not just like enough test kits, but enough test kits that actually work and produce good results. And so now that we've established that, now let's look at testing specifically in Nigeria. So first thing I would like to say is that there was actually how to like testing inequality, something that I noticed, and I'm just people are like, it was not testing inequality. Very good question. This is a term I came up with by myself, so I do not expect everyone to understand what that means because I came up with it. And so like one thing that I noticed was that when we first had the first case of coronavirus, which was the Italian man, and I think we handled that pretty well. Do not mind that noise. So we handled that pretty well, and then after a while we started seeing coronavirus cases, especially a lot of cases with our politicians. And at that point in time, people were like, yes, it's good for them, those people God is showing them. And like it's Nigerians that said it too. Like they were like, you people, it's good for them. Hey, God, God is not sleeping. And I was like, people, calm down. Like this is not an issue but Nigerians, they have to speak their mind. They have to speak their mind. And so that was what was happening. And so when that happened, and then the next thing, we started seeing coronavirus cases in the masses, and then we saw some cases in Kano, we saw some cases in Abuja, and then some politicians started dying, and even I think the emir of Kano, I was like, okay, now this thing is getting real, like coronavirus is getting real. And so like after some time, then the next thing, the cases just exploded. I think that was like from about 1 or 2 weeks ago. We've been having like exponential increases in cases, and I would just like to commend the Nigerian health workers. Like those guys are the real MVPs. Like I mean, health workers all over the world, like they should be commended, and even essential workers, which like essential workers may not be health workers, but they're essential, and they're also on the front lines. And so like health workers and other essential workers, like we need to commend them, especially in Nigeria, because like we know how our country is. And like I would just like to say that at this point, like coronavirus, I'm pretty okay. Like yes, could we have done better like Nigeria? Of course we could always do better because we have the potential to do better. But like comparing Nigeria with other countries, like for example US, now the population is roughly 300 million people, or yeah, about 300 to 330 million people, and they have about 1.5 million coronavirus cases, at least at the time of this video. And Nigeria, which is we have about 200 million people, we have 6,000 cases. Now is this the like one of I know this is like one of the highest coronavirus cases we have in Africa, but like I just want to commend African countries. Like if somebody comes and they're like, oh, Africans, like people were expecting African countries to not be able to handle the coronavirus outbreak, but like look at how many African countries have zero death. Like yeah, look at them. So like people let's just thank God that we're Africans, and I just want to commend all African countries. Like, let's look on the bright side of this. Yes, people are dying, and people are like facing insecurity and stuff like that. But like, we should also just notice that even in the middle of the darkness, there's always light, and that's just one thing that makes me happy that African countries are really coping with this, and even Madagascar. Like, even though people are like, oh, Madagascar, oh, this is COVID organic, oh, COVID organically. Like, I just like the fact that they're actually looking into it, and now they've asked South Africa to help them test to I think conduct clinical trials, and I'm just like so happy. Like, look at what we're doing. Look at Senegal now. Senegal, I think they have like the third fastest recovery rate. So like, yes, African country, red. Like, please, proudly African. So like, yeah, but like going back to testing. So I just want to say that I think personally that the politicians got like easier testing. They got faster testing. They were like they had more access to testing, because testing is not, you have to pay for testing, and so when the tests first came out, you have to afford to get tested. So even if you suspected that you had the coronavirus but you could not afford it, so people did not get tested, and so they would not be tested, and they might have the coronavirus and they will be spreading it. But like politicians, all the billions in their accounts, they can afford to get tested, and so they were getting tested, and we were finding out who had coronavirus, which was why people were like, it's good for them. But I just feel that within, like, even in that moment when people were like, it's good for them, people in the masses had, like, some people would have had coronavirus at that same time, but they won't have known, because maybe they were not informed, or maybe they could not afford to get tested, or maybe they didn't even know that they had the coronavirus. And so while they were busy, it's like, is it ironic? Yes. Is it sad? Yes. But like, while people were condemning politicians and kind of making jokes and stuff, people in the masses could have had coronavirus. And so I think that's one point that one weak point by which the coronavirus could have spread, testing inequality. And so yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Another point that I wanted to talk about, which I'm just gonna go to my computer for, is employment. No, wait, before I go to employment, let me first talk about security. Like, security during this coronavirus period, like, whew, my gosh. I mean, have you seen, I think we have all seen, the Instagram, the Facebook videos, the pictures of all those places who, like, where they've been, having night vigils, and, they've been having, like, to become vigilantes in their own community, because of all these people some people will even be writing them letter, and they'll be like, we are coming to your area. So if people don't, I'm like, if people, like, who are these people? First of all, I just want to say that nobody should be taking advantage of anybody during this crisis, and that if, like, yes, naturally people will be scared and they want to keep food at home. But I was like, especially in Nigeria, where some people are struggling to get food on a normal daily basis, and so like they're struggling even more to get food, and then some people are like, they're coming, and I'm like, how dare those people? Like, yeah, you should be compassionate, and like, why would, I just don't even, I think that for those people, they just saw it as an opportunity to just attack vulnerable people, and that's just really sad, and it's just really mean of those people. And then I understand some people are like, even the police, they're not doing anything. Like, those police will be coming after, will be some bits of, will be calling the police, they will not answer us. I just need, like, yes, sometimes the Nigerian police can be frustrating, and like, yeah, I've seen stories of Nigerian police, and how they wait for the robbery to finish before they show up. But like, even with that, I just need us to recognize that the police, they're like the police force, policemen, policewomen, all the sergeants and they are all essential workers during this period of time. So like, we have health workers, and then we have other essential workers. So essential workers may not necessarily be health workers. They just need to be people who need to work during this time to keep people basically alive. So like, people working at the grocery store, they're essential workers, but they're not health workers. And so I was like, yeah, when you have essential workers like that, and you just see people not really paying them respect or not giving them protective care, I'm like, okay, we need to talk about that, and just like, we need to generally appreciate the fact that we do not have PPE everywhere. We don't, like, even health workers don't have PPE. the policemen, they also don't have PPE. And so like when people don't have protective gear and they not expect them to go outside and to be like, oh, okay, we're going to go to this area and we're going to go and stop those miscreants, and you don't know if those miscreants have coronavirus, and you're like, should we not? Like, so I just want to say that is also a reason why they might not be outside. But even if they do have protective gear, would they come out? And of recent, I'm not really sure, maybe it's just me or it's my social media, but I've not really been seeing, that many people complaining about security. I don't know. But like, if you know anything about security, like how has security been progressing in your area, let us know. And yeah, so I think that's all I want to say about security. Next point, basic amenities. Oh my gosh, food, water, electricity. Yes, those are things that we want to talk about because food, like, we all know what happens when people say we're gonna be at home. Then we go to the supermarket and then we get a whole bunch of food, and then there are lines as long as probably the entire supermarket. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And so, like, those are basic things that people need to survive: water, electricity, and food. And so, like, when people shut down, I was like, okay, first of all, do we have enough food to sustain Nigerians in the country? Probably not, because we get most of our food from other countries, which is also a reason why we need to diversify our agricultural sector and even like generally all the sectors. Because like when you say, we're not going to be we're not going to be moving around, generally people will go and they'll go to the market and you'll buy food. But like when you have so many people going to the market at the same time, you're gonna have scarcity of resources. Hashtag economics. And when you have scarcity of your resources, people will want to import. But then, like, since other countries who are producing these goods are also on lockdown, or at least trying to reduce movement, and that means they also have populations of people who are buying food. So they would generally restrict the amount of food they're exporting because they need food to keep their own people, in their houses. And so when you have a reduction in exports of other countries' goods, you have a reduction in imports of rice and beans and everything that we usually import. I know Nigerians, anything imported is better. And so that was a totally different, until border security and all that, like all those ones, they just, brought their own dynamics into food that was not available. And of course, food prices increased. And I was like, how would food prices, like, this is not what we need. Food prices cannot be increasing when income is reducing. That is totally contradictory. But that was what we saw, and it was just really sad. And we had to see that. And then, like, even the food packages, like, they want to talk about the stimulus packages that they were sending. First of all, I just like to say that I think you can't have enough packages. You can't reach everybody. But like, I saw some pictures and I was like, okay, it looks like the Lagos State government, they're trying to do something. And I was like, okay, okay. And so then I saw the ones I first saw, they have like this big, like kind of relief package center, and they were like, bags of rice, beans, and there were like a lot of bags. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to assume this is, for one local government area because they showed different places. And I was like, okay, so this cannot be for the whole of Lagos State. But then the next thing, like about 1 week after, we saw some people on Instagram, different people, and they were showing some very tiny bags. This is not funny. And they were showing some very tiny bags of whatever it was they give them: rice, gari, beans. I was like, you people, okay, like what we saw before. And how is this possible? What are the people that did the calculations and everything? But then, like, I don't know, I just want to say that some people, they have kowoje, but at this point it's not even owo. But some they are calling on jeje at this point, because like, this is food. And I'm like, hey, people, I understand the money, but like, what do you want to do with food? All this food is going to expire. It's going to expire. I can imagine those local government people, they would have given them maybe 100 bags of rice. I want a guy at the top. They will first take like 20. I don't know what they want to do with it, but like, they will take 20 because they have to take their own, and then they will give it to our next in charge to go and distribute. Those ones, obviously, they will not distribute 100%. They will also take their own. And then the thing is that, fine, if I'm the local government chairman and I take 2 or I take 3 bags of rice, I can still understand that, excessiveness. As the local government chairman, you want to flex and everything. But like when you start taking ridiculous amounts out of something that is not even enough, that just doesn't make sense and it's just wicked. And so that's why we have those ridiculous amounts of food that people are receiving. And I'm like, okay, you give this tiny bag of like size of what ice block, nine, give it to one family, and that's the only thing you're giving them. You just give them the rice and water. So when you give them that rice now, that's the end, and you expect them to stay at home for 2 weeks, like it's not gonna work. And so like those are fractures that we have in our system that is not allowing us to manage this one. But like just let me know in your area, like did they bring food to your area, did they like I don't even know if they brought food to our area, but like just let me know if they did, if they did not, if it was nice, or we had to pray for them the reverse way. Anyways, so next thing I want to talk about, oh, okay, yes, water. I mean, like, not many places, like, very funny enough, water, like Lagos, we're surrounded by the ocean. And I know that the ocean is supposed to be salty, but I just feel that there should be a way we should be able to extract water from the ocean that will be clean and not salty. But like we've still not figured that out. And water corporation, it's not everywhere we have water. Like people still fetch water in Lagos, and so but you can't be fetching water now because you have to keep socially distant. And I'm like, okay, that just makes things harder. NEPA, God bless them. Like even when there was no coronavirus, even my area safe 6 to 9 hours is hallelujah that you give them, because how NEPA used to switch lights, and I was like, look, you God, let them upgrade to this coronavirus time. I don't know if they upgraded sharp, but I don't think they did. Like they were just like, if people go and sit down there, and I was like, if people you want people to stay at home, they are giving us one ice block bag of rice. Water, probably some people need or may not have water, and the NEPA are just being like whatever. And I'm like, if people, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Like those people, yeah, those are like the things that I'm noticing. So yeah, this is what the video is about. Me noticing stuff. Yeah, and the next one I want to talk about is information and awareness. Like some people, I feel like some Nigerians don't really know why we're staying at home. They just know that there's a coronavirus, something outside. Like people in Kano now, or they said that they were protesting. They did not really believe there was a coronavirus pandemic. And then the next thing, you saw how coronavirus cases in Kano, you just boo. And I was like, okay, well that's what happens. And people don't believe in coronavirus, and I'm like, it's science, and I just feel that people need to educate themselves, not through WhatsApp or Facebook, maybe not even through Instagram. Like people need to go to websites that are credible to get information about coronavirus, like the NCDC website. That's a very good website. They even put videos online of people telling their husbands in their websites, if you don't wash your hand, if you don't go have bath, you will not eat in this house. Like we are on lockdown in this house, and things like that. They may be funny, but they are also educative. And so people, I'll put the link in the description. But like, yeah, you people should go watch that, because or just read up on it so that you would know how exactly this thing spreads. And also that's another thing, some people don't know how it spreads. Like yes, it's new and we're still learning stuff about it, but like there are basic ways that we know it spreads. That's why we have to wash our hand. That's why we have to cover our noses, so that if somebody has sneezed in that area like 2 minutes ago and you're not there, you don't go and start inhaling the virus. But like some people, they don't know that, and so people just wear face masks, and then they are standing like 2 inches next to the person at the back, and I'm like, this is not how it works. So some people, like, it's not their fault if they do not have access or they're not aware, but like it's two-sided. The information is already there, so we need people on the government side to get the information out more, which I think they've done a 75-80% good job. And then we now need people, the masses, to actually go and listen to the information. So yeah. Also employment, like okay, should I start with Access Bank, or should I start okay, let me not do let me not do as some people will say bad belly. But like Access Bank, like why would you donate so much money if you then slack people? It's just sad. But like employment is a thing that we just need to really take into consideration, especially during this coronavirus period. And as I was like, stimulus packages, relief packages, maybe people should do that. Apart from the food that they were sharing that the food was doing. I mean, okay, just going back to that food, like, did you people see Kenya's package? Okay, it did not. Like, if you haven't, go and check it online. Like, they had NSC, like, everybody was busy talking about the NSC that they put in the package. But me, I was like, if people, okay, scratch the NSC, like, there is, like, we have diapers in that package. Like, okay, I think the Nigerian government, they forgot that some people have babies or, are due. And I'm like, okay, like, don't leave the NSC alone. Like, that is a considerably better package than, another country that I happen to be from. And so I was like, people, let us copy Kenya, but it is well, it is well. And then, so going back to like stimulus and relief packages, yeah, we're gonna need that, especially now that people are losing their jobs up and down, left, right, and center. Like, that's the thing that people are going to need, especially if you want them to stay at home. People, like, people who go to the market, usually market days are now cut in half. It's a whole cycle. Like, yeah, people don't go to work, and so they don't have money, and so they don't have food, and so they have to look for money, and then it's like that cycle continues, and then you have to go outside and then they chase them back inside. People are going to starve if you do not do anything, and that is why people are having like that's why, like, I think one thing is that people, when people donate, all those people that we donate, like, I'm sure all of you have seen those lists of all those big people that they have donated money, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, that's nice, $41 billion. I mean, is it naira? I think it's naira. 41 billion naira, and it's shit on you. But I was like, all this money, like, Nigerian government, it's going to enter voicemail. It's like half of the money is going to enter voicemail. When they give us that 41 billion naira, what happened? And to now make matters worse, Abacha now blends us with money again. And I was like, you people, now that we have found Abacha's money will just completely over, like, when they say something is doing override, it just completely covered the money that is donated. And I was like, maybe if we knew that Abacha was going to, dash us money in this time, that all those people, they would not have, donated that amount. But, like, thank God they donated. But I was just like, what, if I was a donor, donating 1 billion naira, I would rather say, okay, with this 1 billion naira, you people go and buy so thousand bags of rice, so thousand bags of beans, oil, pepper. Like, people are sharing rice, they are sharing, beans, they are sharing gari. Like, no offense, but, like, what are people going to eat this thing with, like, And so that's what I would do. So if, and there's any billionaire out there that is still considering donating, like, you don't have to give the money to the government if you know it's going to enter voicemail. So, like, go and buy those things yourself. You know what people need. Like, even you right now at home, what are you eating? People will want to eat too. People will want water. So, like, go buy, you see what people do when they have natural disasters. They get water, they get food, get those packages, and then you can send people to those communities, and that would be much better. Which is why I just like to commend, the NGOs and religious organizations that have been donating, PPE, sanitizers, and stuff like that. Like, good job, those people, because they know, like, our Nigerian government is either it gets stuck in traffic or it's going to enter voicemail, which is the way things go. And I'm like, it's not this coronavirus time that people want to be talking about the bureaucracy or the corruption in the government. Like, people need to eat, and they need to eat now. So, yeah. Another thing that I want to talk about is schools. Like, hashtag schools. Like, is there anybody going to school? Yeah, I don't think there's anybody going to school. Like, why is this thing even here? Okay, yes, because I'm also a student. And I was like, people, like, schools is a thing that people are not going to right now. And so, like, just generally the education system of Nigeria, I know we have to come back. Like, it will eventually land on this topic. Like, we have to land on this topic. And so I was like, yeah. So schools, like, who is going to school? So I think that's something that we need to have innovation in, because I think it's time we upgraded our school system naturally without coronavirus. Because now that people are not going to school, like, so many millions of children have nothing to do. And I'm like, so what if we don't resume till September? That means that people, that, like, the whole curriculum will now change. Like, there's how many schools even have online school? Like, let me not mention that university of first choice. Like, yes, they're having online stuff now. I'm like, thank God. But, like, I just feel that they should have been able to transition earlier being university of first choice, you know. But like we thank God that they're about to transition now, and we pray that ASU will stop strike. Oh god. Also they are striking during this school, like ASU people are striking during a global pandemic. I mean I understand that ASU has complaints and stuff, but like I just don't really know how it's effective. But like I guess it's effective since they're still striking. Anyway, so yeah, we need to upgrade our educational system so that people can go to school while being at home. You know, that would be a topic that we need to expand on because educational system is oh my gosh, it's oh my gosh. Anyway, so looking ahead, like people, if you're at home during this coronavirus period, look for something to do. If you're a student and maybe you don't have school right now because you're not, you know, using online resources and stuff, you can learn stuff online. You can learn a trade, you can learn a vocation, you can, you know, watch videos, educational videos. Don't spend all your time on social media. It never helps. Like it never helps. I say the same thing, you know, the cat videos or the coronavirus videos, they will be there, like all of them will be there. So you can just say like, okay, so today I will do 2 hours of productive work. When I say productive work, not 2 hours of watching coronavirus, like that's not productive. You can watch 2 hours of coronavirus videos. It's productive work. You could be like, okay, today I want to, you know, read an educational book. I want to read on this topic. I want to, you know, do some research. Just try not to look out too much and just try to be positive. Try to be, you know, positive. What else do we want to be? We don't want to panic. We want to pray a lot. We want to spend time with God. We want to be calm and peaceful, and we just want to not contribute to the panic and the fear that is out there. And we don't want to join the naysayers and stuff like that. So yeah, that was basically all that we wanted to talk about today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Remember to, you know, leave a comment if you have anything. And like this video, we're like, oh my gosh, my school has 5G internet, and like all of us are there with holograms every day. Please let us know so that we can all want to come to your school. But if you just have comments on anything, like generally anything in this video, drop a link, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.